You were at a media summit, a media panel at Columbia University, and you interrupted them and said, when are you going to talk about something real? Which I thought you did a fantastic job here. We're going to play the video in just a second, but to set this up, what was the event and what were they talking about that was, quote unquote, unreal?
Yeah, so the title of the event was Democracy on the Brink. Is the press up to the task? And it was a Columbia University event at the Columbia School of Journalism. You may remember it was a year ago that Jose had intervened at a similar event.
Yes.
When he said, where is Cy Hirsch? I thought Cy Hirsch was going to be here, right? So, and it's the exact same venue. But these were, journalists and columnists from the New York Times. The editor-in-chief of Vox was there. And there was also a national bestseller, Garrett Graff, who had written a book on Robert Mueller and how, the FBI is the savior of the United States. We did so well in the war on terror. And, what was on the agenda is how is the press going to reestablish itself amidst the November election when Trump has a very good chance of winning. So all of it was fake. I mean, it was a total facade. No issues were being discussed. Nothing about the genocide in Gaza, not about the lies they've told about Ukraine. So that was my idea going into this, to talk about something real.
Well, you did a great job. We're going to play this video right now, and then we'll talk a little more.
Great.
Can we actually talk about something real now? I mean, the UN, the United Nations, has just passed a resolution for an immediate ceasefire during the holiday of Ramadan. And Kirby and Matt Miller of the State Department has said that such resolution is non-binding. I mean, has the media reported that? I mean, Craig Mokhiber, who headed the Human Rights Council in New York for the UN, he's left his position. I'm sure you wouldn't leave your positions in the media because you're more concerned about your own career than actually telling the truth. But the United States has already destroyed the international legal framework. Democracy, is that why democracy is on the brink? What about in Ukraine? What has the media said that's actually been right about Ukraine? We have a meat grinder there now, 500,000 dead Ukrainians, because the media was trying to build up support for us for the Biden administration sending weapons, and it's a total meat grinder. Ukraine is not going to win. It's actually going to lead to nuclear war. Why don't we talk about something real? You know what the French president had said? You know what Macron had said? Macron is saying that he's going to send troops, unilaterally send troops to Ukraine. What's going to happen, okay?
Okay, so about halfway through here, they say, let them speak. First of all, you were terrific. I mean, you had all that material ready to go, memorized completely smooth. Like, you just kept going. Mm-hmm. Usually they would start dragging you out before you got this far. Were you surprised you made it this far? Maybe it's because you're a, skinny, nice-looking white boy, and they didn't drag you out right away, because Jose usually gets dragged out right away.
Yeah. Well, I was actually telling Jose he should have been there to be my security, to drag me out. Because, I was really surprised. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm actually going to have to go on for a while. I hope I can keep it up. I don't want it to be awkward, but yeah.
Yeah, because it is kind of awkward if they let you go and you run out of things to say, but right. You did not run out of things to say. And at a certain time, you actually do give them the mic, and they don't actually answer you. They tell you sit down, right? So let's get to that.
That's going to lead to World War III. That will lead to nuclear war. Is that why democracy is on the brink? Huh? What about, where are the Cy Hirsches of the media who broke the story about Nord Stream? You all undermine that story, okay? This is a total facade. They're not talking about real issues. We are on the brink of World War III right now, and all these people here will tell you that Trump is the problem, that the election is going to be the problem. No, democracy is on the brink. We're going to go to World War III. Why don't you say something about that? Okay. You need to sit down, please. No, why don't you address my question? No, I want them to address it right now. No. Why don't you address the question? You're not talking about anything real here.
Because we have a program here. We have Q&A.
What about the genocide in Gaza? Are you going to address that?
We're here to talk about Donald Trump.
Can you address that right now?
This is group therapy. This is a
You're
group
not
therapy
going to address
session
the
about
genocide.
Donald Trump.
What is American democracy then?
It's time to go. We will get up and take this stand.
Sit down, sir.
Address the question, please.
We are in the middle of conversation here.
About nothing that actually matters.
This event is not for you. Please, can you understand that? Be respectful.
That's good.
It's not your event.
That's good. You know, I noticed this when I was doing some coverage of the campaign in New Hampshire. None of the candidates, none of the Democrats, none of the Republicans brought up Gaza or Ukraine. I think Nikki Haley gave a quick mention to like Putin is on the march and we have to stand up to him, but that's it. Like no one talked about any of these real issues as you said, and it's just incredible to see how I won't even say in a bubble these people are, because it's worse than a bubble. It is a parallel reality. It's a parallel universe. They're obsessed with Donald Trump and his, subverting of democracy and his 91 felony counts. I'm assuming it was a lot of that and none of the other things.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. And it's funny that you say parallel universes, because Orban, I think the prime minister of Hungary, he had put it almost in the exact same way when comparing himself to these lunatics in Europe that want to continue the war in Ukraine. They want to escalate. And yet he's there, he's calling for legitimate negotiations, which we all know the war in Ukraine is going to come to a negotiated settlement at one point. I mean, Russia has won, and he described it as we're in two separate universes, one that's reality and one, that's totally distorted.
Yeah, it is just amazing to see an event like that talks about democracy on the brink, and the focus seems to be just so singular. And it really, I mean, I said it as a joke, but this really is group therapy for people. Like, this is cheap therapy for people who don't want to commit to every week. That's what the TV news is. That's what summits like this are like. So how long into the event did you decide, okay, I got to stand up?
I actually waited quite a while. I wanted to give them a chance. I wanted to hear what they had to say. I mean, it turned out to be nothing real. It was about 30 minutes in. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I better say something now before this event ends. And there was a Q&A as well, but I personally just didn't want to wait till then. So yeah, I'd say about a half hour in. But, oh yeah, the part you didn't show, speaking of group therapy, the moderator had said, we're going to take a 5-minute break. And I guess that's so everyone could go to their safe spaces afterwards.
Did I not show that, or did I talk over it? Is there another video?
Oh, was that the whole video?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Here, maybe I talked over it. Let me see if I can. Here, I'll play at the end, because I open my mouth. I tend to do that.
You're not going to address the genocide. What is American democracy then?
It's time to go. We will get up and take this stand.
Sit down, sir.
Address the question, please.
We are in the middle of conversation here.
About nothing that actually matters.
Others want to listen to it. This event is not for you. Please, can you understand that? Be respectful.
It's not for you.
Yeah, that's where it comes
that
up
was
on my
it?
end.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was funny. I'm glad we got that, because yeah, this event is not for you. Yeah, no shit. That was the core of what you were saying. Yes.
Yeah. I should have probably edited the video myself. I told Jose to edit it, and he didn't include that last part, so I'm gonna blame him for that.
Oh, there you go.
But they said we're taking a 5-minute break afterwards.
Oh, really? So they actually broke it up because
They
of that.
broke it
didn't
up.
Continue.
Oh,
They-
really?
Yeah.
Really?
And-
Wow.
Yeah, and after everyone had left, someone came up to me and said, all right, it's time for you to go. But I actually kind of did want to stay And then after the break, everyone comes back and I stand up. I'm like, okay, so getting back to the
Right, all right. So everybody got their coffee and in their water. Beautiful. Yeah, no, really, really well done. It's great. Russell, did you have anything for Kynan?
Yeah, it's one of the problems we have in the activist space is everybody's broke, all the money is on the other side. Have you thought about interventions for hire? Because I think there'd be a market for that.
Yeah.
Somebody's mad at the ex-husband. They call you up, send you over there, disrupt their wedding to the secretary. Right?
Well, it sounded like in the beginning you were looking for that. So, I
That's
mean,
right.
Well, I am. That's what gave me the idea. I was like, I would pay this kid to go yell at people.
yeah.
Right?
How does 500 sound?
I think you could get a lot more than that. You're thinking small.
Yeah, you're a pro.
Go door knocking on Fifth Avenue. You'll never find a more bilious bunch of rich people who would be willing to pay to have you disrupt people's events.
Yeah, you know that service Cameo where like they'll pay a celebrity $50 to wish their friend a happy birthday? Do that,
Right.
but for interventions. Yeah, that's an idea.
I'll
That's an
think-
idea
yeah.
for sure. Well, really well done, Kynan. Always great to talk to you. Before you go, I want to give you a chance to plug Jose's site. So votevega.nyc. Jose's going to be on the Jimmy Dore Show with us tomorrow, and then we're going to have him on here next week because the ballot window for signatures to get on the ballot, rather, starts in less than 2 weeks. So do you want to tell people about that?
Yeah, sure. It starts exactly on April 16th, and we're going to have till May 31st to collect signatures. And also Jose will be running with Diane Sayre. She's an independent for U.S. Senate against Kirsten Gillibrand. Jose himself needs 3,500 signatures in Richie Torres's district. And that really means 10,000 because all kinds of tricks are going to be played to get us off the ballot. So we need petitioners. If you're watching and you're in the Bronx area, I'd suggest that you go to the website and get in contact with us because, the way Jose has put it is that his vote represents the uncommitted vote
Right.
against Biden in other states. So, I mean, please volunteer with the campaign. Please donate to the campaign, and we'll have a lot of fun and kick some ass.
Awesome.
And me
Speaking of the
and
uncommitted,
Keaton, we're working out a day that we will come down to canvass.
yeah, well, I'll
So we'll
definitely be
announce
down
that.
there. I'm almost positive it'll be the 20th, which is a Saturday. So if anybody wants to come and pound the pavement with your favorite JOOs in the Bronx, we will announce a time and place to meet, and I'm almost certain it'll be Saturday the 20th. I have to confirm that finally, but that's looking like the date for now. But speaking of uncommitted, because you just brought it up, New York just had a primary where they weren't allowed to write in uncommitted, so there was a leave it blank movement. Now, the thing about New York, and Russell and I talk about this all the time, it's the most corrupt state for this kind of thing in the country, bar none. You're not allowed to write in uncommitted, which makes it difficult to impossible to actually measure how many protest votes there were because they weren't actual votes. They were blank ballots at the top line. And so somebody did an aggregate of what he estimated the numbers were. And I didn't put this on the screen because, frankly, I don't trust it. Because according to this study that this one guy did to estimate the amount of protest votes against Biden, 6% left it blank in the Bronx and 10% left it blank in Staten Island, which I find almost impossible, that there's more pro-Palestine protest votes in Staten Island than in the Bronx. Like, that can't be right. But nonetheless, there were a decent number of protest votes cast, and so I think you're right. That is the constituency that you have to tap into, and we will help you guys out as best we can. Like I said, Jose is going to come on the Jimmy Show tomorrow, and then we're going to have him on next week, and then Russell and I will be out pounding the pavement at the early part of that window. Like I said, probably that Saturday, 2 Saturdays from now.
Yeah. Well, thanks for telling me that, actually, because I was also I never changed my registration from Democrat to independent. So my mom and I went to the primaries and we just casted a blank ballot, and I wasn't able to find anything online as to how many people had done that. So, I mean, maybe the figures aren't totally accurate, but it gives some idea.
Well, some people definitely did it. I mean, it was a fairly organized movement.
What do they do with write-in candidates? Because When there's really no one to vote for, I'll usually write in Paul Atreides or, Bruce Wayne on occasion. What do they do with those? Do they count that as uncommitted?
Are you asking me? Or are you
I'm asking you.
Are you
'Cause
asking
you were the
Kynan?
one who's
Sorry.
bringing it up.
No, I don't know how they work that, but I know you weren't allowed to write in uncommitted on the primary. Yeah, so I'm not sure how they do it for the general election. I'm assuming they would count them. I'm assuming that they would count them. Alrighty, well, Kynan, thank you so much for being here. The website is votevega.nyc to get involved in the campaign, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you when we are in the city getting some signatures. So we'll stay in touch, my friend. Thank you very much for joining us
Awesome,
this
man.
morning.
See you guys on the 20th.
Thank you, Kynan.
Alrighty, you got it.
Please clap.